Part 1. Pivoting and the Book of Positive Aspects. Your story and the law of attraction. Each and every component that makes up your life experience is drawn to you by the powerful law of attraction's response to the thoughts you think and the story you tell about your life. Your money and financial assets, your body's state of wellness, clarity, flexibility, size and shape, your work environment, how you are treated, work satisfaction and rewards. Indeed, the very happiness of your life experience in general is all happening because of the story that you tell. If you will let your dominant intention be to revise and improve the content of the story you tell every day of your life, it is our absolute promise to you that your life will become that ever-improving story. For by the powerful law of attraction it must be. 4. Does life sometimes seem to be unfair? You have wanted more success, and you have applied yourself well, doing everything that everyone said you should do. But the success you have been seeking has been slow to come. You tried very hard, especially at first, to learn all the right things, to be in the right places, to do the right things, to say the right things, but often things did not appear to be improving much at all. Earlier in your life, when you were first dipping your toe into the idea of achieving success, you found satisfaction in satisfying the expectations of the others who were laying out the rules for success. The teachers, parents, and mentors who surrounded you seemed confident and convincing as they laid out their rules for success. Always be on time, always do your best, remember to work hard, always be honest, strive for greatness, go the extra mile, there's no gain without pain, and most important, never give up. But over time, your finding satisfaction from gaining the approval of those who laid out those rules waned, as their principles of success, no matter how hard you tried, did not yield you the promised results. And it was more disheartening still when you stood back to gain some perspective on the whole picture and realized that their principles were not, for the most part, bringing them real success either. And then, to make matters even worse, you began meeting others who clearly were not following those rules, who were achieving success apart from the formula that you had been so diligent to learn and apply. And so you found yourself asking, what's going on here? How can those who are working so hard be receiving so little, while those who seem to be working so little are achieving so much? My expensive education hasn't paid off at all, and yet that multimillionaire dropped out of high school. My father worked hard every day of his life, and yet our family had to borrow the money to pay for his funeral. Why doesn't my hard work pay off for me the way it was supposed to? Why do so few really get rich while most of us struggle to barely get by? What am I missing? What do those financially successful people know that I don't know? 5. Is doing your best still not enough? When you are doing everything you can think of, truly trying your best to do what you have been told is supposed to bring you success, and success does not come, it is easy to feel defensive, and eventually even angry at those who are displaying evidence of the success you desire. You even find yourself sometimes condemning their success, simply because it is too painful to watch them living the success that continues to elude you. And it is for this reason, in response to this chronic condition in the financial affairs of your culture, that we offer this book. When you come to the place of openly condemning the financial success that you crave, not only can that financial success never come to you, but you are also forfeiting your God-given rights to your health and happiness as well. Many actually come to the incorrect conclusion that others in their physical environment have banded together in some sort of conspiracy to keep them from succeeding. For they believe, with all of their heart, that they have done everything possible to achieve success, and the fact that it has not come must surely mean that there are some unfriendly forces at work that are depriving them of what they desire. But we want to assure you that nothing like that is at the heart of the absence of what you desire, or of the presence of things you would like to remove from your experience. No one ever has or ever could have prevented your success or provided it. Your success is all up to you. It is all in your control. And we are writing this book so that now, finally, once and for all time, your success can be in your deliberate and conscious control. 6. Whatever I can desire, I can achieve it, is time for you to return to the true nature of your being and to consciously live the success that the experiencing of your own life has helped you determine that you desire. And so, as you deliberately relax right now, breathing deeply and reading steadily, you will begin to gradually but surely remember how all success comes, for you already inherently understand it. And so you will certainly feel resonance with these absolute truths as you read about them here. The eternal laws of the universe are consistent and reliable and steadily hold, always, the promise of expansion and joy. They are being presented to you here in a powerful rhythm of understanding that will start small within you and then expand with each page you read, until you reawaken into the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe that creates worlds. If this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire within you, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield you a full and satisfying manifestation of that same desire. It is law. To achieve success is my natural birthright. Most people naturally assume that if their life is not going the way they want it to go, Something outside of themselves must be preventing the improvement, for no one would deliberately hold their own success away. But while pointing the blame at others may feel better than assuming responsibility for unwanted conditions, there is a very big negative repercussion to believing that something outside of you is the reason for your own lack of success. When you give the credit or the blame to another for your success or lack of it, you are powerless to make any change. When you desire success, but from your perspective you are not currently experiencing it, at many deep levels of your being, you recognize that something is wrong. And as this strong feeling of personal discord manifests your awareness that you are not getting what you want, it often sets into motion other counterproductive assumptions that evoke jealousy toward those who are having more success, resentment at a myriad of people you would like to blame for your lack of success, or even self-denigration, which is the most painful and counterproductive assumption of all. And we submit that this uncomfortable upheaval is not only normal, but it is the perfect response to your feeling a lack of success. Your emotional discomfort is a powerful indicator that something is very wrong. You are meant to succeed, and failure should feel bad to you. You are meant to be well, and sickness should not be accepted. You are supposed to expand, and stagnation is intolerable. Life is supposed to go well for you, and when it does not, there is something wrong. But what is wrong is not that an injustice has occurred, or that the gods of good fortune are not focusing on you, or that someone else has received the success that should have been yours. What is wrong is that you are out of harmony with your own being, with who you really are, with what life has caused you to ask for, with what you have expanded to, and with the ever-consistent laws of the universe. What is wrong is not something that is outside of you, over which you have no control. What is wrong is within you, and you do have control. And taking control is not difficult to do, once you understand the basis of who you are and the basics of the law of attraction, and the value of your personal, emotional guidance system that you were born with, which is always active, ever-present, and easy to understand. 8. Money is not the root of evil or of happiness. This important subject of money and financial success is not the root of all evil, as many have quoted, nor is it the path to happiness. However, because the subject of money touches most of you in one way or another, hundreds or even thousands of times in every day, it is a large factor in your vibrational makeup and in your personal point of attraction. So when you are able to successfully control something that affects most of you all day, every day, you will have accomplished something rather significant. In other words, because such a high percentage of your thoughts in any given day reside around the topic of money or financial success, as soon as you are able to deliberately guide your thoughts, not only is it certain that your financial success must improve, but the evidence of that success will then prepare you for deliberate improvement in every aspect of your life experience. If you are a student of deliberate creation, if you want to consciously create your own reality, if you desire control of your own life experience, if you want to fulfill your reason for being, then your understanding of these prevalent topics, money and the law of attraction, will serve you enormously well. 9. I am the attractor of my every experience. You are meant to live an expansive, exhilarating, good-feeling experience. It was your plan when you made the decision to become focused in your physical body in this time-space reality. You expected this physical life to be exciting and rewarding. In other words, you knew that the variety and contrast would stimulate you to expanded desires, and you also knew that any and all of those desires could be fully and easily realized by you. You knew also that there would be no end to the expansion of new desires. You came into your body full of excitement about the possibilities that this life experience would inspire, and that desire that you held in the beginning was not muted at all by trepidation or doubt, for you knew your power, and you knew that this life experience and all of its contrast would be the fertile ground for wonderful expansion. Most of all, you knew that you were coming into this life experience with a guidance system to help you remain true to your original intent, as well as to your never-ending amended intentions that would be born out of this very life experience. In short, you felt an eagerness for this time-space reality that nearly defies physical description. You were not a beginner, even though you were newly beginning in your wee small physical body, but instead you were a powerful creative genius, newly focusing in a new, leading-edge environment. You knew that there would be a time of adjustment while redefining a new platform from which you would begin your process of deliberate creating, and you were not the least bit worried about that time of adjustment. In fact, you rather enjoyed the nest into which you were born, and those who were there to greet you into your new physical environment. And while you could not yet speak the language of their words, and although you were perceived by those who greeted you as new and unknowing and in need of their guidance, you possessed a stability and a knowing that most of them had long left behind. You were born knowing that you are a powerful being, that you are good, that you are the creator of your experience, and that the law of attraction is the basis of all creation here in your new environment. You remembered then that the law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself, is the basis of the universe, and you knew it would serve you well. and so it has. You were still remembering then that you are the creator of your own experience. But even more important, you remembered that you do it through your thought, not your action. You were not uncomfortable being a small infant who offered no action or words, for you remembered the well-being of the universe. You remembered your intentions in coming forth into your physical body, and you knew that there would be plenty of time for acclimating to the language and ways of your new environment. And, most of all, you knew that even though you would not be able to translate your vast knowledge from your non-physical environment directly into physical words and descriptions, it would not matter, for the most important things to set you on a path of joyful creation were already emphatically in place. You knew that the law of attraction was consistently present, and that your guidance system was immediately active. And most of all, you knew that by trial, and what some may call error, you would eventually become completely and consciously reoriented in your new environment. 10. I knew of the consistency of the law of attraction. The fact that the law of attraction remains constant and stable throughout the universe was a big factor in your confidence as you came into your new physical environment, for you knew that the feedback of life would help you to remember and gain your footing. You remembered that the basis of everything is vibration, and that the law of attraction responds to those vibrations and, in essence, organizes them, bringing things of like vibrations together while holding those not of like vibrations apart. And so, you were not concerned about not being able to articulate that knowledge right away, or to explain it to those around you who had seemingly forgotten everything they knew about it, because you knew that the consistency of this powerful law would soon enough show itself to you through the examples of your own life. You knew then that it would not be difficult to figure out what kinds of vibrations you were offering, because the law of attraction would be bringing to you constant evidence of whatever your vibration was. In other words, when you feel overwhelmed, circumstances and people who could help you get out from under your feeling of overwhelmment cannot fan you, nor can you fond them. Even when you try hard to fan them, you cannot. And those people who do come do not help you, but instead, they add to your feeling of overwhelmment. When you feel mistreated, fairness cannot fan you. Your perception of your mistreatment and the subsequent vibration that you offer because of your perception prevents anything that you would consider to be fair from coming to you. When you are buried in the disappointment or fear of not having the financial resources that you believe you need, the dollars or the opportunities that would bring the dollars continue to elude you. Not because you are bad or unworthy, but because the law of attraction matches things that are like, not things that are unlike. When you feel poor, only things that feel like poverty can come to you. When you feel prosperous, only things that feel like prosperity can come to you. This law is consistent, and if you will pay attention, it will teach you, through life experience, how it works. When you remember that you get the essence of what you think about, and then you notice what you are getting, you have the keys for deliberate creation. 11. What do we mean by vibration? When we speak of vibration, we are actually calling your attention to the basis of your experience, for everything is actually vibrationally based. We could use the word energy interchangeably, and there are many other synonyms in your vocabulary that accurately apply. Most understand the vibrational characteristics of sound. Sometimes when the deep, rich bass notes of your musical instrumentation are played loudly, you can even feel the vibrational nature of sound. We want you to understand that whenever you hear something, you are interpreting vibration into the sound you are hearing. What you hear is your interpretation of vibration. What you hear is your unique interpretation of vibration. Each of your physical senses of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching exist because everything in the universe is vibrating, and your physical senses are reading the vibrations and giving you sensory perception of the vibrations. So as you come to understand that you live in a pulsating, vibrating universe of advanced harmonics, and that at the very core of your being, you are vibrating at what could only be described as perfection in vibrational balance and harmony, then you begin to understand vibration in the way we are projecting it. Everything that exists, in your air, in your dirt, in your water, and in your bodies, is vibration in motion, and all of it is managed by the powerful law of attraction. You could not sort it out if you wanted to, and there is no need for you to sort it out, because the law of attraction is doing the sorting, continually bringing things of like vibrations together while things of different vibrational natures are being repelled. Your emotions, which really are the most powerful and important of your 6 physical vibrational interpreters, give you constant feedback about the harmonics of your current thoughts, vibrations, as they compare with the harmonics of your core vibrational state. The non-physical world is vibration. The physical world that you know is vibration. There is nothing that exists outside of this vibrational nature. There is nothing that is not managed by the law of attraction. Your understanding of vibration will help you to consciously bridge both worlds. You do not have to understand your complex optic nerve or your primary visual cortex in order to see. You do not have to understand electricity to be able to turn on the light, and you do not have to understand vibrations in order to feel the difference between harmony or discord. As you learn to accept your vibrational nature and begin to consciously utilize your emotional vibrational indicators, you will gain conscious control of your personal creations and of the outcomes of your life experience. 12. Whenever I feel abundant, abundance finds me. When you make the conscious correlation between what you have been feeling and what is actualizing in your life experience, now you are empowered to make changes. If you are not making that correlation, and so continue to offer thoughts of lack about things you want, the things you want will continue to elude you. People, often, in this misunderstanding, begin to assign power to things outside of themselves in order to explain why they are not thriving in the way they would like. I'm not thriving because I was born into the wrong environment. I'm not thriving because my parents didn't thrive, so they couldn't teach me how to do it. I'm not thriving because those people over there are thriving, and they're taking the resources that should have been mine. I'm not thriving because I was cheated, because I'm not worthy, because I didn't live the right way in a past life, because my government ignores my rights, because my husband doesn't do his part, because. And we want to remind you, you're not thriving is only because you are offering a vibration that is different from the vibration of thriving. You cannot feel poor and vibrate poor and thrive. Abundance cannot find you unless you offer a vibration of abundance. Many ask, but if I'm not thriving, then how in the world can I offer a vibration of thriving? Don't I have to thrive before I can offer the vibration of thriving? We agree that it is certainly easy to maintain a condition of thriving when it is already in your experience, because then all you have to do is notice the good that is coming, and your observation of it will keep it coming. But if you are standing in the absence of something you want, you must find a way to feel the essence of it, even before it comes, or it cannot come. You cannot let your vibrational offering come only in response to what is, and then ever change what is. You must find a way of feeling the excitement or satisfaction of your currently unrealized dreams before those dreams can become your reality. Find a way to deliberately imagine a scenario for the purpose of offering a vibration, and for the purpose of the law of attraction matching your vibration with a real-life manifestation. When you ask for the manifestation prior to the vibration, you ask the impossible. When you are willing to offer the vibration before the manifestation, all things are possible. It is law. 13. Rather than by default, live life deliberately. We are giving this book to you to remind you of things you already know at some level, so as to reactivate that vibrational knowledge within you. It is not possible for you to read these words, which represent the knowledge that you hold from your broader perspective, without a recognition of this knowledge beginning to surface from within. This really is the time of awakening, the time of remembering your personal power and your reason for being. So take a deep breath, make an effort to get comfortable, and slowly read the contents of this book to restore yourself to your original vibrational essence. So here you are, in a wonderful state of being, no longer an infant under the control of others, somewhat acclimated into your physical environment, and now, by reading this book, returning 25 to the recognition of the full power of your being, no longer buffeted around by the law of attraction like a small cork on a raging sea, but finally remembering and gaining control of your own destiny, finally and deliberately guiding your life within the powerful law of attraction, rather than responding in an attitude of default and just taking life as it comes. In order to do that, you have to tell a different story. You have to begin to tell the story of your life as you now want it to be, and discontinue the tales of how it has been, or of how it is. 14. Tell the story you want to experience. To live deliberately, you have to think deliberately. And in order to do that, you must have a reference point in order to determine the correct direction of your thought. Right now, just as at the time of your birth, the two necessary factors are in place. The law of attraction, the most powerful and consistent law in the universe, abounds, and your guidance system is within you, all queued up and ready to give you directional feedback. You have only one seemingly small but potentially life-changing thing to do. You have to begin telling your story in a new way. You have to tell it as you want it to be. As you tell the story of your life, and you do it nearly all day, every day with your words, your thoughts, and your actions, you have to feel good while you tell it. In every moment, about every subject, you can focus positively or negatively, for in every particle of the universe, in every moment in time and beyond, there is that which is wanted and the lack of what is wanted pulsing there for you to choose between. And as these constant choices reveal themselves to you, you have the option of focusing upon what you want or the lack of it regarding every subject, because every subject is really two subjects, what you want or the absence of what you want. You can tell by the way you feel which choice you are currently focused upon, and you can change your choice constantly. 15. Every subject is really two subjects. The following are some examples to help you see how every subject is really two subjects. Abundance, poverty, absence of abundance, health, illness, absence of health, happiness, sadness, absence of happiness, clarity, confusion, absence of clarity, Energetic, tired, absence of energy. Knowledge, doubt, absence of knowledge. Interested, bored, absence of interest. 26, I can do that, I can't do that. I want to buy that, I can't afford that. I want to feel good, I don't feel good. I want more money, I don't have enough money. I want more money, I don't know how to get more money. I want more money, that person is getting more money than his/her share. I want to be slender, I am fat. I want a new car. My car is old, I want a lover. I don't have a lover. As you read this list, it is undoubtedly obvious to you which we consider to be the better choice in each example. But there is a simple and important thing that you may be forgetting. There is a tendency as you read a list such as this to feel a need to state the factual truth about the subject. Tell it like it is, rather than make the statement of what you desire. That tendency alone is responsible for more miscreating and more personal disallowing of wanted things than all other things put together. And so, the examples and exercises offered in this book are given to help you orient yourself toward what is wanted, not to explain what already is. You have to begin telling a different story if you want the law of attraction to bring you different things. 16. What is the story I'm now telling? A very effective way to begin to tell that new story is to listen to the things that you are now saying throughout your day. And when you catch yourself in the middle of a statement that is contrary to what you want, stop and say, well, I clearly know what it is that I don't want. What is it that I do want? Then deliberately and emphatically make your statement of desire. I hate this ugly, old, unreliable car. I want a pretty, new, reliable car. I'm fat. I want to be slender. My employer doesn't appreciate me. I want to be appreciated by my employer. Many would protest, claiming that a simple rewording of a sentence will not make a shiny new car appear in your driveway, or change your fat body to one that is slender, or cause your employer to suddenly change her personality and begin to treat you differently. But they would be wrong. When you deliberately focus upon any desired subject, often proclaiming it to be as you want it to be, in time you experience an actual shift in the way you feel about the subject, which indicates a vibrational shift. When your vibration shifts, your point of attraction shifts, and, by the powerful law of attraction, your manifestational evidence or indicator must shift also. You cannot talk consistently of the things you do want to experience in your life without the universe delivering the essence of them to you. 17. The pivoting process can reorient my life. The process of pivoting is a conscious recognition that every subject is really two subjects, and then a deliberate speaking or thinking about the desired aspect of the subject. Pivoting will help you activate within yourself the aspects that you desire regarding all subjects, and once you accomplish that, the essence of the things that you desire on all subjects must come into your experience. There is an important clarification that we must make here. If you are using words that speak of something that you desire, while at the same time you are feeling doubt about your own words, your words are not bringing you what you want, because the way you are feeling is the true indication of the creative direction of your thought vibration. The law of attraction is not responding to your words, but to the vibration that is emanating from you. However, since you cannot speak of what you do want and what you do not want at the same time, the more you speak of what you do want, the less frequently you will be speaking of what you do not want. And if you are serious about telling it like you want it to be rather than like it is, you will, in time, and usually a rather short time, change the balance of your vibration. If you speak it often enough, you will come to feel what you speak. But there is something even more significantly powerful about this process of pivoting. When life seems to have you negatively oriented toward the lack of something you want, and when you make the statement, I know what I do not want, what is it that I do want? The answer to that question is summoned from within you, and in that very moment, the beginning of a vibrational shift occurs. Pivoting is a powerful tool that will instantly improve your life. 18. I am the creator of my life experience. You are the creator of your own life experience. And as the creator of your experience, it is important to understand that it is not by virtue of your action, not by virtue of your doing. It is not even by virtue of what you are saying that you are creating. You are creating by virtue of the thought that you are offering. You cannot speak or offer action without thought vibration occurring at the same time. However, you are often offering a thought vibration without offering words or action. Children or babies learn to mimic the vibration of the adults who surround them long before they learn to mimic their words. Every thought that you think has its own vibrational frequency. Each thought that you offer, whether it has come to you out of your memory, whether it is an influence from another, or whether it is a thought that has become the combination of something you have been thinking and something that another has been thinking. Every thought that you are pondering in your now is vibrating at a very personal frequency. And by the powerful law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn. That thought is now attracting another thought that is its vibrational match. And now, those combined thoughts are vibrating at a frequency that is higher than the thought that came before. And they will now, by the law of attraction, attract another and another and another, until eventually the thoughts will be powerful enough to attract a real-life situation or manifestation. All people, circumstances, events, and situations are attracted to you by the power of the thoughts that you are thinking. Once you understand that you are literally thinking or vibrating things into being, you may discover a new resolve within you to more deliberately direct your own thoughts. 19. Aligned thoughts are thoughts that feel good. Many people believe that there is more to their beingness than what is represented in their physical reality as the flesh, blood, and bone person they know themselves to be. As people grapple with ways to label this larger part of themselves, they use words such as soul, source, or God. We refer to that larger, older, wiser part of you as your inner being, but the label that you choose to describe this eternal part of you is not important. What is extremely significant is that you understand that the larger you does and will eternally exist and plays a very large part in the experience that you are living here on planet Earth. Every thought, word, or deed that you offer is played against the backdrop of that broader perspective. Indeed, the reason that in any moment of clearly knowing what you do not want, you emphatically then realize what it is that you do want, is because that larger part of you is giving its undivided attention to what you do want. As you make a conscious effort to guide your thoughts day by day more in the direction of what you do want, you will begin to feel better and better, because the vibration that is activated by your improved feeling thought will be a closer match to the vibration of the larger non-physical part of you. Your desire to think thoughts that feel good will guide you into alignment with the broader perspective of your inner being. In fact, it is not possible for you to really feel good in any moment unless the thoughts you are thinking right now are a vibrational match to the thoughts of your inner being. For example, your inner being focuses upon your value. When you identify some flaw in yourself, the negative emotion that you feel is about that vibrational discord or resistance. Your inner being chooses to focus only upon things about which it can feel love. When you are focusing upon some aspect of someone or something that you abhor, you have focused yourself out of vibrational alignment with your inner being. Your inner being focuses only upon your success. When you choose to see something you are doing as failure, you are out of alignment with the perspective of your inner being. 20. Seeing my world through the eyes of Source. By choosing better feeling thoughts, and by speaking more of what you do want and less of what you do not want, you will gently tune yourself to the vibrational frequency of your broader, wiser inner being. To be in vibrational alignment with that broader perspective, while living your own physical life experience, is truly the best of all worlds, because as you achieve vibrational alignment with that broader perspective, you then see your world from that broader perspective. To see your world through the eyes of Source is truly the most spectacular view of life. For from that vibrational vantage point, you are in alignment with, and therefore in the process of attracting, only what you would consider to be the very best of your world. Esther, the woman who translates the vibration of Abraham into the spoken or written word, does so by relaxing and deliberately allowing the vibration of her own being to raise until it harmonizes with the non-physical vibration of Abraham. She has been doing this for many years now, and it has become a very natural thing for her to do. She has long understood the advantage of aligning her vibration so that she could effectively translate our knowledge for other physical friends. But she had not really understood another wonderful benefit of that alignment until one beautiful spring morning when she walked down the driveway by herself to open the gate for her mate, who would eventually follow in the automobile. As she stood there waiting, she gazed up into the sky and found it to be more beautiful than it had ever appeared before. It was rich in color, and the contrast of the brilliant blue sky and the strikingly white clouds was amazing to her. She could hear the sweet songs of birds that were so far away she could not see them, but their beautiful sound made her shiver with excitement as she heard them. They sounded as if they were right above her head or sitting on her shoulder. And then she became aware of many different delicious fragrances flowing from plants and flowers and earth, moving in the wind and enveloping her. She felt alive and happy and in love with her beautiful world. And she said right out loud, "There can never have been in all of the universe a more beautiful moment in time than this, right here, right now." And then she said, "Abraham, it is you, isn't it?" And we smiled a very broad smile through her lips, for she had caught us peeping through her eyes, hearing through her ears, smelling through her nose, feeling through her skin. "Indeed," we said, "we are enjoying the deliciousness of your physical world through your physical body." Those moments in your life when you feel absolute exhilaration are moments of complete alignment with the Source within you. Those moments when you feel powerful attraction to an idea or keen interest are also moments of complete alignment. In fact, the better you feel, the more in alignment you are with your Source, with who you really are. This alignment with your broader perspective will not only allow you faster achievement of the big things that you want in life, like wonderful relationships, satisfying careers, and the resources to do the things you really want to do, but this conscious alignment will enhance every moment of your day. As you tune yourself to the perspective of your inner being, your days will be filled with wonderful moments of clarity, satisfaction, and love. And that is truly the way you intended to live while here, in this wonderful place, this wonderful time, and this wonderful body. 21. I can deliberately choose to feel better. The reason that Esther was able to allow that fuller perspective of Abraham to flow through her, providing her with such a delicious experience, was because she had begun that day by looking for reasons to feel good. She looked for the first thing to feel good about while she was still lying in her bed, and that good feeling thought attracted another and another and another and another and another, until by the time she reached the gate, which was approximately 2 hours later, by virtue of her deliberate choice of thoughts, she had brought her vibrational frequency to a level that was close enough to matching that of her inner being, that her inner being was able to easily interact with her. Not only does the thought you are choosing right now attract the next thought, and the next, and so on, it also provides the basis of your alignment with your inner being. As you consistently and deliberately think and speak more of what you do want, and less of what you do not want, you will find yourself more often in alignment with the pure, positive essence of your own source, and under those conditions, your life will be extremely pleasing to you. 22. Could illness be caused by negative emotion? Esther's experience at the gate was dramatically enhanced by her vibrational alignment with her source and therefore with absolute well-being. But it is also possible for you to experience the opposite of that enhanced experience if you are out of alignment with source and well-being. In other words, sickness or illness or lack of well-being occurs when you vibrationally disallow your alignment with well-being. Whenever you experience negative emotion, fear, doubt, frustration, loneliness, and so on, that feeling of negative emotion was the result of your thinking a thought that did not vibrate at a frequency that was in harmony with your inner being. Through all of your life experiences, physical and non-physical, your inner being, or the total you, has evolved to a place of knowing. And so, whenever you are consciously focused upon a thought that does not harmonize with that which your inner being has come to know, the resultant feeling within you will be one of negative emotion. If you were to sit on your foot and cut off the circulation of the flow of blood, or if you were to put a tourniquet around your neck and restrict the flow of oxygen, you would feel immediate evidence of the restriction. And in like manner, when you think thoughts that are not in harmony with the thoughts of your inner being, the flow of life force or energy that comes into your physical body is stifled or restricted, and the result of that restriction is that you feel negative emotion. When you allow that negative emotion to continue over a long period of time, you often experience deterioration of your physical body. Remember, every subject is really two subjects: what is wanted or lack of what is wanted. It is like picking up a stick with two ends. One end represents what you do want, the other end represents what you do not want. So the stick called physical well-being has wellness on one end and illness on the other. However, people do not experience illness only because they are looking at the negative end of the physical well-being stick, but because they have been looking at the I know what I don't want end of many, many sticks. When your chronic attention is upon things that you do not want, while the chronic attention of your inner being is upon the things that you do want, over time, you cause a vibrational separation between you and your inner being. And that is what all illness is: separation, caused by your choice of thoughts between you and your inner being. 20th, pivot from feeling bad to feeling good. Everyone wants to feel good, but most people believe that everything around them needs to be pleasing to them before they can feel good. In fact, most people feel the way they do in any moment in time because of something they are observing. If what they are observing pleases them, they feel good, but if what they are observing does not please them, they feel bad. Most people feel quite powerless about consistently feeling good because they believe that in order to feel good, the conditions around them must change. But they also believe that they do not have the power to change many of the conditions. However, once you understand that every subject really is two subjects, what is wanted and lack of it, you can learn to see more of the positive aspects of whatever you are giving your attention to. That really is all that the process of pivoting is. Deliberately looking for a more positive way, a better feeling way, to approach whatever you are giving your attention to. When you are facing an unwanted condition and are therefore feeling bad, if you will deliberately say, I know what I do not want, what is it that I do want? The vibration of your being, which is affected by your point of focus, will shift slightly, causing your point of attraction to shift also. This is the way that you begin telling a different story about your life. Rather than saying, I never have enough money, you say instead, I'm looking forward to having more money. That is a very different story, a very different vibration, and a very different feeling, which will in time bring you a very different result. As you continue to ask yourself from your ever-changing vantage point, what is it that I do want? Eventually you will be standing in a very pleasing place, for you cannot continually ask yourself what it is that you do want without your point of attraction beginning to shift in that direction. The process will be gradual, but your continued application of the process will yield wonderful results in only a few days. 24. Am I in harmony with my desire? So the pivoting process is simply, whenever you recognize that you are feeling a negative emotion, it is really that you are feeling the lack of harmony with something that you want. The obvious thing for you to do is to stop and say, I'm feeling negative emotion, which means I am not in harmony with something that I want. What do I want? Anytime that you are feeling negative emotion, you are in a very good position to identify what it is that you are in that moment wanting, because never are you clearer about what you do want than when you are experiencing what you do not want. And so stop in that moment and say, something is important here. Otherwise, I would not be feeling this negative emotion. What is it that I want? And then simply turn your attention to what you do want. In the moment you turn your attention to what you want, the negative attraction will stop, and in the moment the negative attraction stops, the positive attraction will begin. And in that moment, your feeling will change from not feeling good to feeling good. That is the process of pivoting. 25. What do I want and why? Perhaps the strongest resistance that people have to beginning to tell a different story about their own life is their belief that they should always speak the truth about where they are, or that they should tell it like it is. But when you understand that the law of attraction is responding to you while you are telling your story of how it is, and therefore is perpetuating more of whatever story you are telling, you may decide that it really is in your best interest to tell a different story, a story that more closely matches what you would now like to live. When you acknowledge what you do not want, and then ask yourself, what is it that I do want? You begin a gradual shift into the telling of your new story and into a much improved point of attraction. It is always helpful to remember that you get the essence of what you think about, whether you want it or not, because the law of attraction is unerringly consistent. Therefore, you are never only telling the story of how it is now, you are also telling the story of the future experience that you are creating right now. Sometimes people misunderstand what the process of pivoting is, as they incorrectly assume that to pivot means to look at something unwanted and try to convince themselves that it is wanted. They think that we are asking them to look at something that they clearly believe is wrong and to pronounce it right, or that it is a way of kidding themselves into accepting some unwanted thing. But you are never in a position where you can kid yourself into feeling better about something, because the way you feel is the way you feel, and the way you feel is always a result of the thought that you have chosen. It is really a wonderful thing that through the process of living life and noticing the things around you that you do not want, you are then able to come to clear conclusions about what you do want. And when you care about how you feel, you can easily apply the process of pivoting to direct your attention toward more of the wanted aspects and less of the unwanted aspects of life. And then as the law of attraction responds to your increasingly improved, better feeling thoughts, you will notice your own life experience transforming to match more of those wanted aspects, while the unwanted aspects gradually fade out of your experience. When you deliberately apply the process of pivoting, which means you are deliberately choosing your own thoughts, which means you are deliberately choosing your vibrational point of attraction, you are also deliberately choosing how your life unfolds. Pivoting is the process of deliberately focusing your attention with the intent of directing your own life experience. 26. I can feel better right now. People often complain that it would be much easier for them to focus on something positive if it were already happening in their life experience. They accurately acknowledge that it is much easier to feel good about something when something good is already happening. We certainly do not disagree that it is easier to feel good while noticing things you believe are good. But if you believe that you only have the ability to focus upon what is happening, and if what is happening is not pleasing, then you could wait an entire lifetime, because your attention to unwanted things is preventing wanted things from coming to you. You do not have to wait for a good thing to happen in order to feel good, for you have the ability to direct your thoughts toward improved things no matter what is currently present in your experience. And when you care about how you feel and you are willing to pivot and turn your attention toward better feeling thoughts, you will quickly begin the positive, deliberate transformation of your life. Things that are coming into your experience are coming in response to your vibration. Your vibration is offered because of the thoughts you are thinking, and you can tell by the way you feel what kinds of thoughts you are thinking. Find good feeling thoughts, and good feeling manifestations must follow. Many people say, it would be so much easier for me to be happy if I were in a different place. If my relationship were better, if my mate were easier to live with, if my physical body didn't hurt, or if my body looked different, if my work was more fulfilling, if I only had more money, if the conditions of my life were better, I would feel better, and then it would be easier for me to be thinking more positive thoughts. Seeing pleasing things does feel good, and it is easier to feel good when a pleasing thing is there, obvious for you to see. But you cannot ask others around you to orchestrate only pleasing things for you to see. Expecting others to provide the perfect environment for you is not a good idea, for many reasons. 1. It is not their responsibility to feather your nest. 2. It is not possible for them to control conditions you have created around you. And 3, most important of all, you would be giving up your power to create your own experience. Make a decision to look for the best feeling aspects of whatever you must give your attention to, and otherwise look only for good feeling things to give your attention to, and your life will become one of increasingly good feeling aspects. 27. Attention to unwanted attracts more unwanted. For every pleasing thing, there is an unpleasing counterpart. For within every particle of the universe is that which is wanted, as well as the lack of that which is wanted. When you focus upon an unwanted aspect of something in an effort to push it away from you, instead it only comes closer, because you get what you give your attention to, whether it is something that you want or not. You live in a universe that is based on inclusion. In other words, there is no such thing as exclusion in this inclusion-based universe. When you see something that you desire and you say yes to it, that is the equivalent of saying, yes, this thing that I desire, please come to me. When you see something that you do not want and you shout no at it, that is the equivalent of saying, come to me, this thing that I do not want. Within everything that surrounds you is that which is wanted and that which is unwanted. It is up to you to focus upon what is wanted. See your environment as a buffet of many choices and make more deliberate choices about what you think about. If you will try to make choices that feel good to you, as you make an effort to tell a different story about your life and the people and experiences that are in it, you will see your life begin to transform to match the essence of the details of the new and improved story you are now telling. 28. Am I focused upon the wanted or the unwanted? Sometimes you believe that you are focused upon what you want, when actually the opposite is true. Just because your words sound positive or your lips are smiling while you say them, does not mean that you are vibrating on the positive end of the stick. It is only by being aware of the way you are feeling while offering your words, that you can be sure that you are in fact offering a vibration about what you do want, rather than what you do not want. 29. Focus on the solution, not the problem. In the midst of what the television weatherman was calling a serious drought, our friend Esther walked down one of the paths on their Texas hill country property, noticing the dryness of the grass and feeling real concern for the well-being of the beautiful trees and bushes that were all beginning to show signs of stress from the shortage of rain. She noticed that the bird bath was empty, even though she had filled it with water just a few hours earlier, and then she thought about the thirsty deer who had probably jumped the fence to drink the small amount of water that it held. And so, as she was pondering the direness of the situation, she stopped, looked upward, and, in a very positive voice, with very positive sounding words, said, "Abraham, I want some rain." And we said immediately back to her, "Indeed, from this position of lack, you think you will get rain?" "What am I doing wrong?" she asked. And we asked, "Why do you want the rain?" And Esther answered, "I want it because it refreshes the earth. I want it because it gives all of the creatures in the bushes water so that they have enough to drink. I want it because it makes the grass green, and it feels good upon my skin, and it makes us all feel better." And we said, "Now you are attracting rain." Our question, "Why do you want the rain?" helped Esther withdraw her attention from the problem and turn her attention toward the solution. When you consider why you want something, your vibration usually shifts or pivots in the direction of your desire. Whenever you consider how it will happen, or when, or who will bring it, your vibration usually then shifts back toward the problem. You see, in the process of taking her attention from what was wrong, by our asking her why she wanted the rain, she accomplished a pivot. She began thinking not only of what she wanted, but why she wanted it. And in the process, she began to feel better. That afternoon it rained, and that night the local weatherman reported an unusual isolated thunderstorm in the hill country. Your thoughts are powerful, and you have much more control over your own experience than most of you realize. 30. What I do want is to feel good. We visited with the young father, who was at his wit's end, because his son was wetting the bed every night. This father was not only frustrated about the physical disruption of finding wet bedding and clothing every morning, but he was concerned about the emotional ramifications because it had been going on for such a long time, and frankly he was embarrassed by his son's behavior. "He's too big for this," he complained to us. We asked him, "When you come into the bedroom in the morning, what happens?" "Well, as soon as I walk into his room I can tell by the odor that he's wet the bed again," he told us. "And how do you feel about that?" "Helpless, angry, frustrated. This has been going on for a long time, and I don't know what to do about it," he said. "What do you say to your son?" "I tell him to get out of those wet clothes and get into the bathtub. I tell him he's too big for this, and that we've talked about this before." We told this father that he was actually perpetuating bedwetting. We explained to him, when the way you feel is controlled by a condition, you can never influence a change in the condition. But when you're able to control the way you feel within a condition, then you have the power to influence change in the condition. For example, when you enter your son's bedroom and become aware that something that you do not want has happened, if you would stop for a moment to think about that thing that has happened that you do not want, asking yourself what it is that you do want, and then further enforcing that side of the pivotal equation by asking yourself why you want it. Not only would you immediately feel better, but you would soon begin to see the results of your positive influence. "What do you want?" we asked. He said, "I want my little one to wake up happy and dry and proud of himself and to not be embarrassed." This father felt relief as he focused upon what he wanted, because in making that effort, he found harmony with his desire. We told him, as you're thinking those sorts of thoughts, then what will be oozing out of you will be harmony with what you do want, rather than harmony with what you do not want. And you will be more positively influencing your son. Then words will come out of you, such as, "Oh, this is all part of growing up. And all of us have been through this. And you're growing up very fast. Now get out of those wet clothes and get into the bathtub." This young father called very soon after that and happily reported that the bedwetting had stopped. 31. Whenever I'm feeling bad, I'm attracting unwanted upward. While almost everyone is aware of how they feel in varying degrees, there are few who understand the important guidance that their feelings or emotions provide. In the most simple of terms, whenever you feel bad, you're in the process of attracting something that will not please you. Without exception, the reason for negative emotion is because you're focused upon something you do not want, or upon the lack or absence of something that you do want. Many regard negative emotion as something unwanted, but we prefer to see it as important guidance to help you understand the direction of your focus. Therefore, the direction of your vibration, therefore the direction of what you're attracting. You could call it a warning bell, because it certainly does give you a signal that lets you know that it's time to pivot. We prefer to call it a guiding bell. Your emotions are your guidance system to assist you in understanding what you are in the process of creating with every thought you think. Often people who are beginning to understand the power of thought and the importance of focusing upon good-feeling subjects are embarrassed or even angry at themselves when they find themselves in the midst of negative emotion. But there is no reason to be angry at yourself for having a perfectly functioning guidance system. Whenever you become aware that you're feeling negative emotion, begin by complimenting yourself for being aware of your guidance, and then gently try to improve the feeling by choosing thoughts that feel better. We would call this a very subtle process of pivoting, whereby you gently choose better feeling thoughts. Whenever you feel negative emotion, you could say to yourself, "I'm feeling some negative emotion, which means I'm in the process of attracting something that I do not want. What is it that I do want?" Often just acknowledging that you will help turn your thoughts in a better feeling direction. But it is important to understand the distinction between wanting to feel good and not wanting to feel bad. Some people think that it's just two different ways of saying the same thing, when actually those two statements are exact opposite with huge vibrational differences. If you can begin to orient your thoughts by steadily looking for things that cause you to feel good, you will begin to develop patterns of thoughts or beliefs that will help you create magnificent good-feeling lives. 32. My thoughts dovetail into stronger matching thoughts. Whatever thought you're focused upon, whether it's a memory from your past, something that you're observing in your present, or something you're anticipating in your future, that thought is active within you right now, and it is attracting other thoughts and ideas that are similar. Not only do your thoughts attract other thoughts that are of a similar nature, but the longer you focus, the stronger the thoughts become and the more attraction power they amass. Our friend Jerry likens this to the ropes he once observed while watching a large ship being docked. It was to be tied with a rope that was very large, too big and bulky to be thrown across the expansive water. And so instead, a small ball of twine was tossed across the water to the dock. That twine had been spliced into a little bigger rope, which had been spliced into a little bigger rope, which had been spliced into a little bigger rope, until eventually the very large rope could easily be pulled across the expansive water, and the ship was then secured to the dock. This is similar to the way your thoughts dovetail one to another, with one connecting to another, and so on. Upon some subjects, because you've been pulling upon the negative rope longer, it's very easy for you to get off on a negative tangent. In other words, it just takes a little negative utterance from someone, a memory of something, or a suggestion that takes you into a negative tailspin right away. Your point of attraction predominantly occurs from the day-to-day things that you're thinking about as you're moving through your day, and you have the power to direct your thoughts positively or negatively. For example, you're in a grocery store, and you notice that something that you regularly purchase has increased substantially in price, and you feel strong discomfort wash over you. You may very well think that you're just feeling shock over the sudden spike in the price of this item, and that since you have no say in what the grocer charges for the items, that you have no option other than to feel discomfort about it. However, we want to point out to you that your feeling of discomfort is not because of the grocer's action of raising the price of the goods for sale, but instead, it's because of the direction of your own thoughts. Just like the analogy of the rope tied to the rope tied to the rope tied to the rope, your thoughts are tied to one another and travel quickly to heightened vibrational places. For example, wow, the price of this is much greater than it was just last week. This price jump seems unreasonable. There's nothing reasonable about the greed in the marketplace. Things are getting way out of hand. I don't know where it's all headed. It doesn't seem like we can go on like this. Our economy's in trouble. I can't afford these inflated prices. I'm having a hard time making ends meet. I can't seem to earn it fast enough to keep up with the increase in the cost of living. And of course, this negative train of thought could move in any directions, toward blame of the grocer, to the economy, to your government. But it usually always turns back to the way you feel that the situation will negatively impact you, because everything that you observe feels personal to you. And everything, in truth, is personal to you, because you're offering a vibration about it that is affecting what is now being attracted to you by your choice of thoughts. If you are aware of how you are feeling and you understand that your emotions are indicating the direction of your thoughts, then you can more deliberately guide your thoughts. For example, wow, the price of this is much greater than it was last week. However, I'm not aware of the other things in my basket. They could be the same or maybe even a bit lower. I wasn't really paying attention. This one just got my attention because it was so much greater. Prices do fluctuate. I always manage. Things are going up a bit, but it's working out all right. It is quite an impressive system of distribution that makes this variety of goods so accessible to us. Once you've decided that care about feeling good, you will find it easier to more consistently choose a better feeling direction in your thoughts. When a desire to feel good is effectively active within you, a consistent inspiration toward good feeling thoughts will be present, and you'll find it easier and easier to direct your thoughts in productive directions. Your thoughts contain enormous creative attractive power that you harness effectively only by consistently offering good feeling thoughts. When your thoughts constantly move back and forth between wanted and unwanted, pros and cons, pluses and minuses, you lose the benefit of the momentum of your pure positive thought. 33. Creating a book of positive aspects. In the first year of Jerry and Esther's work with us, they were using small hotel meeting rooms in different cities, always wanting to provide a comfortable place where people could gather to address their personal questions with us. There was a hotel in the city of Austin that always seemed to forget they were coming, even though Esther had made arrangements with the hotel, signed contracts, even called in the days just prior to the event to confirm. The hotel was always able to accommodate them, even though when they arrived no one seemed to be expecting them. But it was very uncomfortable for Jerry and Esther to be in the position of urging the hotel to hurry to get the room ready before their guests arrived. Finally, Esther said, "I think we should find a new hotel." And we said, "That might be a good idea, but remember, you will take yourselves with you." "What do you mean?" Esther asked a bit defensively. We explained to her, "If you take action from your perspective of lack, the action is always counterproductive. In fact, it is likely that the new hotel will treat you just like the last one did." Jerry and Esther laughed at our explanation, because they'd already moved from one hotel to another for the very same reason. "But what should we do?" they asked. We encouraged them to purchase a new notebook and write boldly across the front cover of it, "My book of positive aspects." And on the first page of the book, write "Positive aspects of this hotel in Austin." And so Esther began to write, "It's a beautiful facility, it's immaculate, it's very well situated, it's close to the interstate, it's easy to find. There are many different sized rooms to accommodate our increasing numbers. The hotel staff is friendly." And as Esther was making those entries, her feeling about the hotel changed from one of negative to one of positive. And in the moment that she began to feel better, her attraction from the hotel changed. She did not write, "They're always ready and waiting for us," because that had not been her experience. And writing that would have evoked a feeling of contradiction, or a feeling of defense, or a feeling of justification from her. But by wanting to feel good, and by deliberately focusing her attention more upon the things about the hotel that did feel good, Esther's point of attraction regarding the hotel shifted. And then something Esther found very interesting happened. The hotel never forgot they were coming again. Esther was amused to realize that the hotel had not been forgetting about their agreement because they were uncaring or disorganized. The staff was simply being influenced by her dominant thought about them. In short, they could not buck the current of Esther's negative thought. Esther enjoyed her book of positive aspects so much that she began writing pages on many subjects of her life. We encouraged her to not only write about the things in which she was seeking improved feelings, but to write about things she already felt mostly positive about, just to get in the habit of good feeling thoughts and for the pleasure of good feeling thoughts. It's a nice way to live. 34. The law of attraction adds power to thoughts. Often when experiencing an unwanted situation, you feel a need to explain why it has happened in an attempt, perhaps to justify why you're in the situation. Whenever you're defending, or justifying, or rationalizing, or blaming anything or anyone, you remain in a place of negative attraction. Every word you speak as you explain why something is not the way you want it to be continues the negative attraction, for you cannot be focused upon what you do want while you're explaining why you're experiencing something that you do not want. You cannot be focused upon negative aspects and positive aspects at the same time. Often in an attempt to determine where your trouble started, you only hold yourself in that negative attraction longer. What's the source of my trouble? What's the reason that I am not where I want to be? It's natural that you want improvement in your experience, and therefore it's logical that you're solution-oriented. But there is a big difference between seriously looking for a solution and justifying the need for a solution by emphasizing the problem. The realization that something is not as you want it to be is an important first step. But once you've identified that, the faster you're able to turn your attention in the direction of a solution, the better, because a continuing exploration of the problem will prevent you from finding the solution. The problem is a different vibrational frequency than the solution. As you become aware of the value of the process of pivoting, and as you become adept at identifying what is not wanted, and then immediately turn your attention toward what is wanted, you will realize that you're surrounded primarily by wonderful things, for there is so much more that is going right in your world than wrong. Also, a daily utilization of the Book of Positive Aspects will help you to become more positively oriented. It will assist you in gradually tipping the balance of your thoughts more in the direction of what you do want. The more that you focus your attention with the intention of finding increasingly better feeling thoughts, the more you will realize that there is a very big difference between thinking about what you want and thinking about the absence of it. Whenever you're feeling uncomfortable as you're speaking or thinking about improving something you want, such as a better financial condition or an improved relationship or physical condition, you're in that moment preventing yourself from finding the improvement. The process of pivoting and the process of the Book of Positive Aspects are both offered to assist you in recognizing in the early subtle stages of your creation that you are pulling on the very tips of that negative ball of twine so that you may right away release it and reach for the positive thread of thought instead. It is much easier to go from a thought of something that makes you feel a little better to an even better feeling thought to an even better feeling thought than to go directly to a wonderful feeling thought, because all thoughts or vibrations are affected or managed by law of attraction. 35. I'll begin my day with good feeling thoughts. When you're focused upon something that you really do not want, it is actually easier for you to remain focused upon that unwanted topic, even finding other evidence to support that thought, than it is to move to a more positive perspective, because thoughts that are like unto themselves are drawn. So, if you attempt to make a big jump from a truly negative, unwanted topic immediately to a positive, delightful topic of something that you do want, you will not be able to make the jump, for there's too much vibrational disparity between the two thoughts. A determination to gently, generally, and steadily lean more and more in the direction of wanted things is really the best way to approach your personal vibrational improvement. When you first awaken in the morning after a few hours of sleep, and therefore a vibrational detachment from unwanted things, you are in your most positive vibrational state. If you would begin your day, even before you get out of bed, by looking for a handful of positive aspects in your life, you will begin your day in a more positive vein, and the thoughts that the LOA will now provide as your springboard into each day will be much better feeling and beneficial. In other words, every morning you have an opportunity to establish another vibrational basis, a sort of set point that sets the general tone of your thoughts for the rest of the day. And while it is possible that some events of your day may deviate from that starting place, in time, you will see that you have established complete control of your thoughts, of your vibration, of your point of attraction, of your life. 36. Sleep time is realignment of energies time. While you're sleeping, or during the time that you're not consciously focused through your physical body, the attraction to your physical body stops. Sleep is a time when your inner being can realign your energies, and it is a time for refreshment and replenishment of your physical body. If, when you put yourself in your bed, you will say, "Tonight I will rest well. I know that all attraction to this body will stop. And when I awaken in the morning, I will literally re-emerge back into my physical experience," you will receive the greatest benefit from your time of sleep. Awakening in the morning is not so different from being born. It's not so different from the day you first emerged into your physical body. So as you awaken, open your eyes and say, "Today, I will look for reasons to feel good. Nothing is more important than that I feel good. Nothing is more important than that I choose thoughts that attract other thoughts, that raise my vibrational frequency to the place where I can resonate with the positive aspects of the universe." You see, your vibration is right where you last left it. So, if you lie in your bed, worrying about a situation before you go to sleep, when you wake up, you will pick up right where your thoughts or vibration left off the night before. And then your thoughts for the day will get off on that negative footing. And then, the LOA will continue to serve up for you other thoughts that are like those thoughts. But if you will make an effort as you go to sleep to identify some of the positive aspects of your life, and then deliberately release your thoughts as you remember that during your slumber, you're going to detach and refresh. And then if when you awaken, you will open your eyes and say, "Today I will look for reasons to feel good," you will begin to gain control of your thoughts in life. Rather than worrying about the problems of the world or thinking about things that you have to do today, just lie in your bed and look for the positive aspects of the moment. How wonderful this bed feels, how comforting the fabric feels, how good my body feels, how comfortable this pillow is, how refreshing the air is that I am breathing, how good it is to be alive. You will have begun to pull on that positive good feeling rope. The LOA is like a giant magnifying glass, amplifying whatever is. And so as you awaken and look for some reasons, something very immediate to you to feel good about, the LOA will then offer you another thought that feels like that, and then another, and then another. And that really is what we call getting out of bed on the right foot. With a little bit of effort and a desire to feel good, you can redirect your thoughts to more and more pleasing scenarios until you will change your habits of thought as well as your point of attraction. And the evidence of your improvement in thought will begin to show up right away. 37. An example of a positive aspect's bedtime process. Your action orientation in life causes you to believe that it takes hard work to make things happen. But as you learn to deliberately direct your thoughts, you will discover that there is tremendous leverage and power in thought. As you focus more consistently only in the direction of what you desire, rather than diluting the power of your thought by thinking of the wanted and then the unwanted, you will understand from your personal experience what we mean. Because of your action orientation, you often try too hard and work too hard. And as a result of that, most of you bring yourselves more to the attention of what is wrong, or more to the attention of what needs to be fixed, than you do to the attention of what you desire. Here is a good way to apply the process of positive aspects at bedtime. Once you're in your bed, try to recall some of the most pleasant things that happened during the day. Since many things have undoubtedly happened during this day, you may have to ponder for a little while, and you may remember some of the less than pleasant things that happened. But stick to your intention of finding something pleasing, and when you find it, ponder it. Prime your positive pomp by saying things such as, "The thing I liked about that was," or "My favorite part of that was," and then follow any positive thread that you find, thinking about the best parts of your day. And then, once you're feeling the effect of your positive thoughts, focus on your dominant intention right now, which is getting a good night's sleep and awakening refreshed in the morning. Say to yourself, "I am going to sleep now, and while I am sleeping, because my thoughts will be inactive, attraction will stop and my physical body will be completely refreshed at every level." Turn your attention to the immediate things around you, like the comfort of your bed or the softness of your pillow, the well-being of your moment. And then softly set forth the intention. "I will sleep well and I will awaken refreshed with another new good feeling, positive point of attraction." And then off to sleep you go. 38. An example of a positive aspects morning process of morning. As you awaken the next morning, you will be in that positive good feeling place, and your first thoughts will be something like, "Ah, I'm awake. I've re-emerged back into the physical." Lie there for a little while and bask in the comfort of your bed, and then offer a thought such as, "Today, no matter where I'm going, and no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for things that feel good. When I feel good, I'm vibrating with my higher power. When I feel good, I'm in harmony with that which I consider to be good. When I feel good, I'm in the mode of attracting that which will please me once it gets here. And when I feel good, I feel good. It's just good to feel good. If the only thing it ever brought you is the way you feel in the moment. But feeling good brings ever so much more beyond that." We would lie in the bed for 2 or 3 minutes. That is enough, and we would look for positive aspects of our surroundings. And then, as we move into the day, we would begin to acknowledge more positive aspects, looking for more reasons to feel good, no matter what the object of our attention is. In the first moment of any negative emotion, which will very likely occur, even though you've begun your day looking for reasons to feel good, because there is upon some subjects, some negative momentum already in motion. So don't worry about it, but upon the first inclination of any negative emotion, we would stop and say, "I want to feel good. I'm feeling some negative emotion, which means that I'm focusing upon something that I do not want. Now, what is it that I want?" And then we would turn our attention immediately to that which we want, staying focused upon the new thought or the positive thought long enough that we could feel the positive energy again beginning to flow through our body. As you move through your day, look for more reasons to laugh and more reasons to have fun. When you want to feel good and you do not take things so seriously, and when you are not taking things so seriously, you're not as likely to notice the lack of things wanted. And when you're not focused upon the lack of what you desire, you just feel better. And when you feel better, you attract more of what you do want, and your life just gets better and better and better. And then that night, as you lie in your bed, You'll have many wonderful things to ponder as you drift off into your restful, refreshing sleep. And then you'll awaken into an even better feeling. New day, tomorrow. 39. I know how I want to feel. Sometimes when you're in the midst of an uncomfortable situation, you struggle to find any positive aspects within it. Some things are intolerable. Some things are so big and so bad that it does not seem possible for you to find anything positive about it. But that is because you're attempting to take too large of a jump from the awfulness of what you're focused upon to the solution that you desire. In other words, if you want to find an action solution right now that will fix this, but you find yourself in a situation where no action that you can take seems appropriate, always remember that while there may not be a positive aspect to your action in this moment, and while you may not be able to figure out what to do that would make you feel better, you always do know how you want to feel. It's a bit like someone saying, "I've just jumped out of an airplane and I have no parachute. What shall I do now?" There are situations where, given the current circumstances, there is no action or thought that at this point will make a significant enough difference to change the outcome that's barreling in upon you. And in the same way that sometimes you cannot find any action that will fix things, there's no thought that will immediately change it either. But if you understand the power of your thought and the incredible leverage that consistently good-feeling thoughts provide, and you begin deliberately choosing your thoughts by utilizing the guidance that your feelings or emotions are indicating to you, you can easily transform your life into predominantly good-feeling experiences by focusing upon the improved feeling. If you're able to find even the smallest feeling of relief in a deliberately chosen thought, your gentle path toward your solution will begin. What to do in certain situations may not be clear to you, and you may at times not even be able to identify what it is that you want to have, but there's never a time that you are unable to identify to some extent how you want to feel. In other words, you know that you would rather feel happy than sad. You know you'd rather be refreshed than tired, or invigorated rather than enervated. You know that you would rather feel productive than unproductive. You know that you would rather feel free than confined, and growing rather than stagnant. There is not enough action available to compensate for misaligned thought. But when you begin to gain control of the way you feel, by more deliberately choosing the direction of your thought, you will discover the powerful leverage in thought. If you will bring yourself to a more deliberate control of your own thought, you will bring yourself to a more deliberate control of your own life experience. 40. Nothing is more important than feeling good. Becoming more deliberate about the things you think is not a difficult thing. You're often particular about what you eat, or the vehicle you drive, or the clothes you wear, and being a deliberate thinker does not require much more deliberate discrimination than that. But learning to deliberately direct your thoughts toward the aspect of the subject that feels best to you will have a much greater impact on the improvement of your life than the choosing of a meal or of a vehicle or of clothing. Once you read these words and feel your own personal resonance with their meaning and power, you'll never again feel negative emotion without realizing that you're receiving important guidance to assist you in guiding your thoughts in a more productive and beneficial direction. In other words, you will never again feel negative emotion and not understand that it means you're in the process of attracting something unwanted. A significant thing is happening with you as you're coming into conscious awareness of your emotions and the guidance that they provide. Because even in your ignorance of what negative emotion meant, you were still negatively attracting. And so, understanding your emotion now gives you control of your life experience. When you're feeling less than good, if you'll stop and say, "Nothing is more important than that I feel good. I want to find a reason now to feel good," you will find an improved thought, which will lead to another and another. And as you develop the habit of looking for good feeling thoughts, the circumstances that surround you must improve. The LOA demands it. When you feel good, you experience a sensation of doors opening as the universe is cooperating with you. And when you feel bad, it feels as if doors are closing and the cooperation stops. Anytime you feel negative emotion, you're in the mode of resisting something that you want, and that resistance takes its toll on you. It takes its toll on your physical body, and it takes its toll on the wonderful things that you are allowing to come into your experience. Receiving of them. But until you find a way to feel good about them, even though they have not yet manifested in your experience, it may seem to you that they're on the outside of a door that you cannot open. However, as you begin to look for more positive aspects regarding the things that occupy your thoughts, and as you deliberately choose the more positive end of the stick of possibilities regarding the subjects that dominate your thought processes, that door will open, and everything that you desire will flow easily into your experience. 41. It gets better the better it gets. When you deliberately seek positive aspects of whatever you are giving your attention to, you in a sense tune your vibrational tuner to more positive aspects of everything. And of course you could tune yourself negatively as well. Many people struggle in an attitude of self-criticism as a result of negative comparison that has been directed to them from parents or teachers or peers, and there's nothing more detrimental to your ability to positively attract than a negative attitude toward yourself. So sometimes by choosing a subject about which you've practiced fewer negative thoughts, you can tune yourself to a better feeling frequency, and then from that better feeling place, as you redirect your thoughts toward yourself, you will find more positive aspects about yourself than usual. Once you find more positive aspects of the world that surrounds you, you will begin to find more positive aspects about yourself. And when that happens, finding more positive aspects about your world will be easier still. When you find things about yourself that you do not like, you will find more of those things in others. You say, the worse it gets, the worse it gets. But as you are deliberately looking for positive aspects in yourself or in others, you will find more of those things. The better it gets, the better it gets. We cannot overemphasize the value in looking for positive aspects and focusing upon more of things wanted, because everything that comes to you is dependent upon that very simple premise. You get more and more of what you are thinking about, whether you want it or not. 42. My universe is positively and negatively balanced. So, you are the creator of your experience. Or, you could say that you're the attractor of your experience. Creating is not about identifying something wanted and then going after it and capturing it. Creating is about focusing upon the subject of desire, tuning your thoughts more precisely to the aspects of the subject that you would like to experience, and therefore allowing the LOA to bring it to you. Whether you're remembering something from the past, imagining something about the future, or observing something from your now, you're offering thought vibrations that the LOA is responding to. You may refer to your thoughts as desires or beliefs. A belief is only a thought that you keep thinking, but whatever you're giving your attention to is establishing your point of attraction. Because every subject is actually two subjects, what is wanted and the lack of what is wanted, it's possible to believe that you're positively focused when in fact you're negatively focused. A person may say, I want more money, but what they're actually focused upon is the fact that they don't have as much money as they need. Most people talk most often about their desire to be healthy when they're feeling sick. In other words, their attention to what they do not want is what is prompting their remarks about what they do want. But in the majority of cases, even though they may be speaking words that seem to indicate that they're focused upon their desire, they are not. It's only by consciously recognizing how you're feeling while you're speaking that you really know if you're positively or negatively attracting. And while you may not see immediate evidence of what you're in the process of attracting, whatever you're thinking about is amassing matching thoughts and vibrations and energies, and eventually the evidence of your attraction will be obvious. 43. My universe responds to my attention too. Most people believe, or would like to believe, that everything in the universe responds to their words in the same way that other people around them can sometimes be trained to behave. When you tell someone, yes, come to me, you expect them to come. When you say, no, go away from me, you expect them to go. But you live in an attraction-based universe, an inclusion-based universe, which simply means there's no such thing as no. When you give your attention to something wanted and you say, yes, come to me, you include it in your vibration, and the LOA begins the process of bringing it. But when you look at something unwanted and you say, no, I do not want you, go away, the universe brings that also. Your attention to it, and therefore your vibrational alignment with it, is what's causing the response, not your words. And so, as you say, perfect health, I seek you, I want you, I bask in the idea of perfect health, you're attracting health. But as you say sickness, I do not want you, you're attracting sickness. As you say no, 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 it's coming closer, 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 because the more you struggle against something that you do not want, the more engulfed in it you become. People often believe that once they find their perfect mate, or achieve their perfect body weight, or accumulate enough money, then once and for all they will find the happiness that they seek. But nowhere is there a little corner of something where only positive aspects exist. The perfect balance of the universe says that positive and negative, wanted and unwanted, exists in all particles of the universe. When you, as the creator, the chooser, the definer, the decider, when you look for positive aspects, that becomes what you live in all aspects of your life. You don't have to wait around for that perfect thing to show itself to you so that you can then have a positive response to it. Instead, you can positively train your thoughts and vibrations, and then you will become the attractor of it, or the creator of it. We would encourage you to begin each day with the statement, today, no matter where I go, no matter what I'm doing, and no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to see. Remember, when you awaken in the morning, you are reborn. While you have slumbered, all attraction has stopped. That sequestering away for a few hours of sleep, where your consciousness is no longer attracting, gives you a refreshing new beginning. And so, unless you wake up in the morning and begin regurgitating what troubled you the day before, it will not trouble you in your new day, in your new birth, in your new beginning. 44. Decisions to feel good attract good feelings. A woman said to us when she found out that she was going to be attending some holiday parties, she said, "As soon as I heard that I was going, I started thinking, oh, Mary is going to be there. She's going to look so gorgeous." She realized that just the idea of the party was causing her to compare herself to other people. And she said to us, "I want to stop doing that. I want to feel good about me and just enjoy the parties no matter who is there." She asked us if we could help her with the process of pivoting in positive aspects. She knew she was feeling self-conscious and didn't know what to do about it. She said, "I don't even want to go to the parties." We said to her, while your feeling of self-consciousness is amplified as you think about going to these parties, it's not Mary who is the reason for your discomfort. It often feels very complicated to sort out your relationships with other people. Sometimes you even try to trace those feelings back to your childhood. But there really is no point in doing that. You have the ability from right where you stand right now to find positive or negative aspects, to think of wanted or unwanted. And whether you begin the process now or several days before you go to the party, or whether you wait until you're at the party, your work is still the same. You must look for things that feel good when you focus upon them. Because you have more control over what's activated in your own mind, it is usually much easier to find the positive aspects of a situation before you're standing right in the middle of it. So if you do imagine the situation as you want it to be, and you take the time to practice your positive response to the upcoming situation, then when you're at the party, you will witness the control that you set into motion days before you were at the party. You cannot feel good and bad at the same time. You can't focus upon wanted and unwanted at the same time. So if you've trained your thoughts to what you consider to be good or wanted before you arrive at the party, the LOA will deliver to you things that feel good and are wanted. It really is as simple as that. We said to our friend, if you want to feel different at these upcoming parties than you felt at the parties in previous years, you have to begin telling a different story. The story you've been telling goes something like, "I'm only invited to these parties because of my relationship with my mate. It really is not important to anyone that I be there. I'm not really a part of his work environment, and I don't really understand most of the things that they are interested in. I'm like an outsider. Mary doesn't feel like an outsider like I do. Her confidence is obvious in the way she dresses and carries herself. I always feel less attractive and less smart, less everything when I'm near Mary. I hate feeling like this. I wish I didn't have to go." We told our friend, here's an example of a better feeling story. My mate is well respected at his firm. It's nice that his company occasionally provides an opportunity for people who work there to include their spouses to get to know one another. No one there expects me to be up to speed with the inner workings of that environment. In fact, this is a party where they will probably enjoy thinking about things other than their work. Life's much larger than what happens at my husband's office. And since I'm never there, I may very well appear to be a breath of fresh air to many of them, because I'm not bogged down in the things that they're troubled about. Mary seems light and friendly. She's clearly not bogged down in office politics or problems. It's fun to watch her. She's interesting. I wonder where she buys her clothes. Very pretty things she wears. We wanted our friend to see that it's not necessary to sort out every insecurity that she'd ever felt and use this office party as a means to solve it. We told her, just find something positive to focus upon and feel the benefit of having done so. And in time, Mary, or all the Marys, will be a non-issue. In fact, Mary could become your friend. But in any case, it's your decision to make. You just have to vibrationally practice it to make it so. 45. How can I not feel their pain? Our friend Jerry said to us that it seemed to him that the majority of his discomfort is because of observing others who are in discomfort or in pain. And he wanted to know how he could use the pivoting process to not feel pain about their pain. We explained that whatever the subject of your attention, it contains things that you want to see, as well as things that you do not want to see. If you're feeling pain, it is not because the person that you're observing is in pain. Your pain is because you've chosen to look at an aspect of them that causes you to feel pain. And there's a big difference. Of course, if this person were not feeling pain but were instead joyful, it would be easier for you to feel joyful. But you must not rely on conditions changing in order to control the way you feel. You must improve your ability to focus positively, regardless of the condition. And to do that, it helps to remember that every subject has wanted and unwanted within it. And if you're deliberate, you can find something that feels better. Of course, it is easier just to observe something that's right before your eyes than it is to deliberately sift for things that you would prefer to see. However, when it really matters to you that you feel good, you'll be less willing to merely lazily or sloppily observe, because your desire to feel good will inspire a greater willingness to look for positive aspects. Also, the more you do look for good feeling things to focus upon, the more of those kinds of good feeling things the LOA will bring to you. Until in time, you'll be so positively oriented that you simply will not notice the things that don't match your positive orientation. We were visiting with a mother at one time, and we encouraged her to just ignore her son's problems. And she said, "But won't he feel like I've abandoned him? Don't I need to be there for him?" And we explained to her that there is no abandonment in focusing upon the positive aspects of someone's life, and there is powerful value in abandoning any thoughts that do not feel good when you think them. We told her, you will never help anyone by being their sounding board for problems or complaints. By holding an image of improvement in your son's life, you help him move toward that. Be there for him. Call him there to that better feeling place. When it's your deliberate intention to feel good, and you really care about how you feel, you'll find more and more thoughts about more and more subjects that do feel good. And then you will be better prepared to interface with others who could be feeling good or bad. Because of your desire to feel good, you will have pre-paved your experience with others with whom you will be interacting. And then it will be much easier for you to focus positively about their situation, no matter what sort of mess they're in. But if you've not been tending to your own vibration, and you've not been consistently holding yourself in good feeling thoughts and vibrations, then you may be swept away into their situation, and you may very well feel discomfort. We just want to emphasize that you're not feeling their pain caused by their situation, but instead you're feeling your own pain brought about by your own thinking. There's great control in that understanding, and in fact, true freedom. When you discover that you can control the way you feel because you can control the thoughts you think, then you are free to joyously move about your planet. But when you believe that the way you feel is dependent upon the behavior or situations of others, and you also understand that you have no control over those behaviors or situations, you do not feel free. That in fact was the pain that our friend Jerry was describing. 46. My sympathy is of no value to anyone. So then Jerry said to us, so when I take my attention off those who are in trouble, I'll feel good, but still that doesn't help them feel better. In other words, I haven't solved the problem, I'm just avoiding the problem. And we told him, if you don't focus upon their problem, you can continue to feel good. But they'll still have the problem. That is true at first. But if you do focus upon their problem, you'll feel bad. They'll continue to feel bad, and they'll still have the problem. And if you continue to focus upon their problem, in time you will have the problem too. However, if you don't focus upon their problem, but instead you try to imagine their solution, or a positive outcome, you'll feel good. And then there is the possibility of your influencing them to more positive thoughts and outcomes. In simple terms, you are never of value to another, and you never offer a solution when you are feeling negative emotion. Because the presence of negative emotion within you means you're focused upon the lack of what is wanted rather than what is wanted. So if someone is having a bad experience and they come into your awareness with a powerful wind of negativity wrapped around them, if you have not already deliberately achieved your alignment with feeling food, you may be swept into their negativity, you may become part of their chain of pain, and you may very well then pass your discomfort onto another who will then pass it on to another, and so on. But if you have been deliberately setting the tone of your day, but putting your head on your pillow each night, and saying, tonight, as I sleep, all attraction will stop, which means tomorrow I will have a new beginning, and tomorrow I will look for what I'm wanting to see, because I want to feel good, because feeling good is the most important thing. As you awaken in the morning, you will be upon a fresh path, bringing no negativity from the day before. And then as you walk into a room and you see someone with pain coming toward you, as this person comes with his pain, you don't become part of it, but instead you provide a better example of happiness, for that which you feel is that which you radiate. Now, it's not likely that just because you remain happy, others will immediately join you in your happiness. In fact, when there's a great disparity between the way you are feeling and the way others are feeling, you will have a difficult time relating to one another. But in time, if you maintain your positive vibrational stance, they will either join you in your positive place, or they will vibrate right out of your experience. The only way unhappy people can stay in your experience is by your continuing attention to them and their unhappiness. If you and two other people were walking along a mountain ledge, and you were not watching where you were going, and you stumbled and fell over the edge, and you were hanging by a very flimsy vine, and one of your friends was very strong and sure-footed, and the other was very clumsy and not focused, which one would you be glad was there? Looking for the positive aspects is the way you find your sure footing. It is who you are from an inner perspective. And as you consistently align with increasingly better feeling thoughts, the powerful resources of the universe become available to you. To sympathize with another means to focus upon their situation until you feel as they feel. And since everyone has the potential of feeling wonderful or feeling awful, of succeeding at their desires or of failing at their desires, you have options about which aspects of them you sympathize with. We encourage you to sympathize with the best feeling aspects of others that you can find, and in doing so, you may influence them to an improved condition also. 47. To not hurt when they feel hurt. A man once asked us, how do you end a relationship without being hurt by the other person being hurt? If you decide that it's time to move on and the other person is not ready to move on, so he or she is distraught, how can you keep your balance in a situation like that? And we said to him, when you attempt to guide your behavior by paying attention to how someone else feels about your behavior, you're powerless. Because you cannot control their perspective, and therefore you cannot achieve any consistent improvement in your own vibration or point of attraction or how you feel. If you've decided to take the action of leaving a relationship before you've done the vibrational work of focusing upon what you want and why you want it, any action that you take can only bring you more of the same discomfort that you've been experiencing. And even once the relationship is ended and you're alone or beginning another relationship with another person, those old lingering negative vibrations will not allow a pleasant unfolding. In other words, it's so much better to find your vibrational balance before you take the action of separation, or you may experience a rather long time of discomfort. We told our friend, let's examine the components of the situation and bring some clarity to your options. You've come to the conclusion, as a result of being unhappy in this relationship for a while, that it would be better to end it. In other words, you believe that your chance of happiness is greater outside of the relationship than inside it. But when you announce that to your partner becomes even more unhappy. And now because your partner is more unhappy, you are more unhappy. One option is to stay, to say, never mind, don't be unhappy. I've changed my mind, I'll stay. But all that has happened is that you were both feeling unhappy. You made a decision to leave, which made your partner even more unhappy. And now you've pulled back from that decision. So your partner is not quite as unhappy as before, but still neither of you are happy. So nothing has changed except that things got a bit more intense for a while. But basically, you're still unsatisfied and unhappy in this relationship. Another option is to just leave. You could focus upon all of the things that have caused you to feel uncomfortable in the relationship and use those things as your justification for leaving. And while that negative focus upon negative things will give you the conviction to take the action of leaving, you will really not feel that much better. While you may feel some relief from the intensity of your unhappiness once you're on the outside of the relationship, you'll continue to feel a need to justify your action of leaving, which will continue to hold you in an unpleasant state. So, even though you've walked away from the things that were really bothering you, you'll still feel bothered. Really, there is nothing that you can do to prevent others from feeling bad, because they don't feel bad because of your behavior. There is no greater entrapment in relationship or in life than an attempt to keep others happy by observing their emotions and then trying to compensate with your actions. The only way you can be happy is to decide to be happy. When you take upon yourself the responsibility of someone else's happiness, you're attempting the impossible, and you're setting yourself up for a great deal of personal discord. So now let's consider the options of pivoting and positive aspects. Stay where you are for now, making no big change in your action or behavior. In other words, if you're living together, continue to do so. If you're spending time together, continue to do so. This option is a change in your thought process, not your action process. The process of pivoting and the process of positive aspects are designed to help you focus differently and to begin telling the story of your relationship or of your life in a better feeling, more self-empowering way. For example, I've been thinking about leaving this relationship because I find that I am not happy within it. But as I think about leaving, I realize that when I go, I'll take myself with me. And if I leave because I'm unhappy, I'll be taking that unhappy person with me. The reason that I want to leave is because I want to feel good. I wonder if it's possible to feel good without leaving. I wonder if there's anything about our relationship that I could focus upon that does feel good. I remember meeting this person and how that felt. I remember feeling drawn by this person and eager to move forward to see what more we might discover together. I liked the feeling of discovery. I liked our relationship as it began. I think that the more time we spent together, the more we realized that we were not really a perfect match. I don't believe that there is any failure on either of our parts in that. Not being a perfect match doesn't mean that either of us is wrong. It only means that there are potentially better partners out there for each of us. There are so many things about this person that I like and that anyone would easily appreciate. So smart and interested in so many things, laughs easily, likes to have fun. I'm glad that we've come together. And I believe that our time together will prove to be of value to both of us. So, our answer to this important question is, you cannot control the pain that any other feels by modifying your behavior. You can, however, control your own pain by directing your thoughts until your pain subsides and is replaced by improved feelings. As you give your attention to what you're wanting, you will always begin to feel good. As you give your attention to the lack of what you're wanting, you will always feel bad. And if you give your attention to the lack of what someone else is wanting, you will feel bad also. You're so action-oriented as physical beings that you really think that you have to fix everything right now. Your partner did not get to this place all of a sudden. Your partner did not even get there only during your relationship. It's been a long path. Momentum has been gathering along the way. So, don't expect that a conversation that you're having in this moment is going to make all of the difference. See yourself as one who is planting a seed. A very strong, sure, powerful seed. You've planted it perfectly, and you've nurtured it for a time with your words, so that long after you're gone, that seed will continue to blossom into that which it is to be. There are many relationships that are not appropriate for you to continue, but we would never walk out of a relationship feeling angry or guilty or defensive. Do the vibrational work, get to feeling good, and then leave. And then what comes next will not be a replay of what you just left. 48. I am not responsible for others' creations. You must not accept the responsibility for what others are doing in their own life experience. See them as emerging from the lack and know that it's going to get better for them later. And then you'll begin to feel better. You may even inspire them in their sleep state to an improved direction. When you think about them, see them as happy. Don't regurgitate in your mind the sad conversations you've had or the parting. Instead, envision them as getting on with their life, just as you're getting on with yours. Trust that they have the guidance within them to find their own way. What trips most of you up so often in your wanting to help others is that you believe they need me because they can't help themselves. But that belief is detrimental to them, because down deep inside they know they can do it, and they're wanting to do it. Begin to say things to your partner such as, "You're such a wonderful person. And while we haven't connected on as many levels as I would like, I know there's a perfect partner waiting for you, and I'm releasing you to that opportunity. Look for it. I don't want to keep you caged here, captive to something that neither one of us wants. I want to free us both to that which we both are wanting. I am not telling you goodbye forever. I'm saying, let's let this relationship have a new understanding between us. One that's inspired from passionate, positive desire, not one that's whipped into place because we're afraid of the possible consequences." And then say to the person, "When I think of you, I will always know that while you're sad now, you're going to be happy later. I'm going to choose to see you as happy because that's the way I like you best, and that's what you like best too." This may sound tough or cold, but nothing else makes sense. 49. Listen for guidance or reach for good feelings. You have the ability to pivot under any and all conditions. It does not matter how negative something seems, you have the ability to give your attention to the positive aspects of it. The only things that get in your way are some old habits or maybe some strong influence from others. Most people are habitual in nature, and your patterns are so well entrenched that at times the fastest path to the joy you seek is for you to take your pivot as you sleep, and then awaken in the new day already in the direction of what you're wanting. By reaching for good feeling thoughts before you go to sleep, and then experiencing the benefit of the quiet mind that occurs while you sleep, and then upon awakening, immediately turning to good feeling thoughts, you can accomplish the ultimate pivoting experience. A few days of following that pattern will provide a big change in your habit of thought and your point of attraction, and you'll discover immediate improvement in virtually every aspect of your life. 50. What if I played the what-if game? As we encourage that you do your best to find positive aspects upon whatever subject is before you, there are often those who ask, but what about the man who just lost his job and has a wife and 5 children, and his rent is due in 2 days and he doesn't have the money to pay it? Or what about the woman who has the Gestapo army at her door about to take her to be killed in a gas chamber? How could these people pivot? And to those extreme questions we often reply, it's as if you've jumped out of an airplane at an altitude of 20,000 feet, and you have no parachute, and so you're saying, now what do I do? You're usually not faced with such extreme circumstances from which it seems there is no possible, comfortable escape. However, these extreme situations, with all of the drama and trauma that they bring, also bring a power that, with the right focus, can provide resolutions that someone watching from the outside would find astonishing or even miraculous. In other words, there is no situation from which you cannot find a positive resolution, but you have to be able to focus powerfully in order to accomplish such a solution. And most people who are in those kinds of situations are not adept at that kind of focus, which is why they're experiencing the negative situation to begin with. When you're involved in extreme situations, a power comes forth from within, and so the intensity of your desire will put you upon a plateau where if you can just get focused, you can have your greater elevation. In other words, those who are very sick are in a better position to be even more well than most others, because their desire for wellness is amplified. But unless they're able to pivot or to turn their attention to their desire for wellness and away from their concern about illness, they cannot become well. We would encourage you to play the what-if game, looking for positive aspects. In other words, rather than looking into your society for examples of disempowered people, having no control over the circumstances of their lives, tell a story that gives you a feeling of empowerment. Instead of telling stories of powerless victims and amplifying your own feeling of being a victim, tell a different story. For example, what if this woman before the Gestapo army came pounding on her door had recognized the rumblings of the looming Holocaust that were in the community weeks before? What if she'd left the community when many others had left? What if she had not been afraid of the unknown? What if she had not held to the familiar? What if she'd made the decision to start a new life in a new country with her sister and her aunt and uncle 2 weeks ago, so that she was not at home when the Gestapo came calling? When you play the what if game, look for things you do want to see. Look for things that make you feel better. There is never a situation in which there is not a way out. In fact, there are hundreds and thousands of practical choices along the way. But out of habit, most people continue to choose the lack perspective in situations, until they eventually find themselves in an unwanted place where it seems that there are no more choices. As you hold to your intention to look for evidence of well-being and thriving and success and happiness, you will tune yourself to the vibrations of those things. And so those kinds of good feeling experiences will dominate your life. Today, no matter where I am going, no matter what I am doing, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to see. As you make the decision that you are not a mere observer of your world, but a deliberate positive contributor to your world, you'll find great pleasure in your involvement with what's going on upon your planet. When you witness things that you do not want to happen in your world, in your nation, in your neighborhood, in your family, or even in your personal body, and you remember that you have the power to tell a different story, and you also know that there is enormous power in telling a different story, you will then step back into the exuberant knowledge that you held when you made the decision to come forth to participate on this planet to begin with. You cannot be in a place other than where you are right now, but you do have the power to begin to express your perspective about where you are in increasingly better ways. And as you do that consciously and deliberately, you will see the evidence of the power of your focus on every subject to which you turn your attention. As you make the decision that you want to feel good, and you consciously look for positive aspects within the subjects that you're involved in every day, and as you deliberately identify and focus upon what you do want regarding these subjects, you'll set yourself upon a path of eternal unfolding satisfaction and joy. These processes are simple to understand and to apply, but don't let their simplicity cause you to underestimate their power. Consistently apply them and show yourself the leverage of the power of aligned thought. Discover the power of the energy that creates worlds, the power that you have always had ready access to, but which you now understand how to apply and focus it toward your own personal creation. If you find it helpful, I won't sell or force anyone to give me money. You feel free to send as many as you want. I just want to give you useful knowledge. If you support me with money, I will spend that money to have the motivation to get many resources and make videos that will help you. Don't forget to leave your contact information when donating. I will contact you to thank you, and I will give you many meaningful gifts. You can scan the QR to get the donation link via Visa MasterCard. Or below the description, I will also leave the link for you.